G'day everyone, it's Matt Rard, CEO and co-founder of eBusiness Institute, where we teach beginners how to transition from full-time employment to earning income online. And I'm really excited about today's special guest. Her name is Yvette. She's one of our star students from a number of years ago, actually from 2017, Yvette. You were our Ultimate Champions Cup winner.
Ultimate Champion Cup winner, yes.
That's right. And Yvette, and a big thank you for coming along today because, guys, Yvette's got a really interesting story, and I thought it would be interesting for you to hear her update after training with us for 5 years to see where she ended up with this, because she now does this full time. So Yvette was probably, like a lot of you listening, total, utter beginner online. She worked crazy hours at Sydney markets as a manual labourer. I'm presuming you're doing wheeling and dealing there, but you're starting at 4 a.m. in the morning. Yep. And I know you look younger than I do, but you've got 4 kids. Yep. Your husband's approaching semi-retirement. So you're at that stage in life where the kids have all grown up, left home. 4 kids, seriously impressive. One of them was with you on the course, Jasmine, of course. Yes. But Yvette, this interview is about you, Yvette, all right? Because I'm really interested in your story, where you're at, because as you know, your story will resonate with a lot of our members. So thinking back to when you started, in your own words, how good or bad were you, as the case may be, with computers and working online and this thing of building websites? Paint the picture there.
So I had a saying that I had children, and because I fed them, they had to do computers and mobile phones for me. Yeah. So I still struggle with the TV remote, but I'm working on that. So computers, if you sent me an email, I could reply. I didn't know how to start an email. I could not do attachments. Right. And I do recall on my last accountability to you, you said to me, what are you most proud of? And I said, the fact that I can cut and paste the questions that you send to me, put them on my email and answer them in blue. And I was so impressed that I could do this thing that I never thought possible. So I honestly, I had no use for computers. I didn't use them in my work at all because I was a manual labourer. And so I couldn't do it, but I had a love of learning. As you said, I did this course with Jasmine. She wanted to do it. And I said to her, I love learning, so I'll do it with you. And
so Jasmine dragged you along to the course.
Yes. I thought it was something that when I first saw this, I thought it's something that my children could do because they all use computers. And I thought, well, I have to go along as well because I've got to take them to the boot camps. But it wasn't something that I thought I would do ever.
Wow.
And if you had said to someone back then, Yvette's learning the computer, they'd all fall over laughing because they knew I couldn't do them. And now I have no fear of computers at all. There is nothing that anyone could say to me, how do you do this, or what do you do, or anything, or can we put this on a website? The answer is always sure. I'll find out, and I have been working, or one of my clients, if I can mention, did robotic processing automation, RPA. Yeah. And that was one of the websites that I did, which is basically 2 computers talking to each other. And so I learned all about that. And so my confidence has gone from I can use a pen and paper to I can now totally use a computer. And even reading on a computer was something that I found was a skill I had to learn. Learning how to read what was on a computer and be able to understand the words, because my skill was learning how to read in a book. And so I found it different to reading on a computer screen.
I mean, it's amazing because we do need to point out, maybe I didn't point it out clearly at the beginning of the interview, but Yvette now does this full time. This is her full-time income, isn't it? You now earn all your money online.
Correct. It's my hobby. It's my passion. It's my full-time work. It is my life. It is. I wish I had learnt this 50 years ago. Because I cannot get enough of it, to the point that at 5:30 every day, I know I have to stop because otherwise I won't. So I just love doing this. It's constantly learning. It's constantly evolving. It is something that I just love.
So on your journey, so I know we've interviewed you twice before on eBusiness Institute here, and you can go and read the stories where we had Yvette's daughter with her on the interview. But what I want to capture now is where you're at, because you and I caught up face to face recently at one of the meetups, and you were telling me some pretty exciting stuff that's happened. Like you've just gone in leaps and bounds over, particularly over COVID, I think. So you are now full time. What's your main strategy? And I know you do all our strategies, but what's your main income earning strategy at this point?
So it's the local business building websites for local businesses. And I have had a few, just a few days ago, I quoted for a $30,000 website.
Right.
So that's kind of
well
cool.
done.
Most of them now, my fees start at $3,500. I've done quite a lot of $7,000-$10,000 websites, so you know, much bigger ones. Depending on the, maybe I shouldn't say this in public, but depending on their profession, as to how many zeros I put on the end of the website. If I think they can afford more, you know, it's this perceived value thing. You know, if you're dealing with a high net worth person, their perceived value is much higher than someone who's just starting out. And you know,
you're very genuine with your clients, because you do, like all of us here, you do such a good job for people. Your value is worth it, Yvette, because you build such fantastic websites for people now through your agency.
Yes, and most of them, I did I did my stats recently, and I think it was 64% are either ranking number one or on page one.
All right.
So you know, I am making them money. And
what I want to point out here is, you're now solo, aren't you? This isn't Jasmine doing this for you in the background, or there's not some, you know, whiz kid daughter in there. Not that Jasmine was a whiz kid daughter, but this is actually just you, isn't it?
It's me. It's me.
So Jasmine's gone off on her own path. You now run your own agency. You work from home.
I work from home. Which is fabulous, because if I want to start at 11, or if if one of my girlfriends rings up and says, I want to see this movie, I'm there. See ya. And I just sort of shut up and I just go and do what I want to do. So for me, it's such a wonderful life, in that I'm doing something that I really love. I'm making money out of it. And, you know, when the sun does shine in Sydney, I'm able to go out and enjoy it and not have to answer to anyone other than myself.
Yeah. So because on that note, like answering to people, you had a pretty full-on role when you were working. So someone listening's got a gauge, total absolute beginner online. And yes, you had Jasmine helping. We want to acknowledge that. Jasmine, your daughter,
absolutely.
who was 26, 28 at the time.
Yeah.
She did help you to get to implementing the stuff that we teach. But roughly how long did it take you till you were able to quit your job and do this full-time?
I would say 18 months to 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah, about 2 years, which is about normal for someone like yourself. So that's a good gauge. And obviously, on that note, obviously we can all see the relief, and you leave the dream life now, you know, working from home, and you're obviously passionate. But I'm presuming that wasn't still an easy path. There would have been challenges, wouldn't there, especially in those early days. Was it a scary time to quit because how long had you worked at the fruit markets for? Well, that was
17 years. Yeah.
So was it scary to quit it?
Yes. Look, to get up when the sun's up was something, because I was always up before the sun. I had to work. As you said, I had 4 kids. I had to work, and to go from, and I didn't only work at the markets, I also ironed for 7 families, and I looked after other kids, and I cleaned. So I worked 7 days a week. I'd finish at the markets, and then I would have another job that I would go to. So money was very important, and I couldn't see a way of not putting in the hours, you know, that pay, that hour rate for pay. And I couldn't understand, or I couldn't see a way that I could do that. And so learning websites and learning the computer allowed me to step back and think, you know what, there is another way. I don't have to trade time for money all the time. There is a way that I can do this passive, you know, set something up and let it just tick along in the background. And was it scary? Yes, because I didn't have the skills that I need. I still had to learn the skills that I needed to make this work, and learning everything. And you know, I understood how to do websites when we were, once I got further on the course, but I still had to learn how to organize a computer. I used the old Arch Lever files with a piece of paper, learning how to put that into a folder, and Googling things. I've always asked people, how do I do this? Show me how to do this. And Jasmine will always say, you have to Google it. And I think, I hate that. Don't keep telling me to Google things, because just tell me. So learn, people would say, what browser do you use? And I'd always answer, what would be a good answer for that? And they'd say, Chrome, Firefox. Okay, now I understand what you're talking about. I didn't understand the words people were using to explain things. So, but now on the flip side, it's been a bit like riding a bike. You do it every day.
Well, I think one of the things that we all admire about you, Yvette, is your persistence and drive and confidence, because one of the things that you've mentioned this, you're obviously not confident to now being totally confident. One of the things I wanted to ask you, because I know life has changed in other ways for you that you didn't expect. And this is, we talk about this all the time. Through doing this journey, I think, talk about not the computer skills, but a large part of this journey, your success is because you've just gotten out there and networked. How different is that for you, and how's that changed your life? Like, I'm pretty sure that's been a bit unexpected, hasn't it? Some of the people you're getting to talk to.
Hugely, it's a different world being a manual labourer, and just in the hierarchy of work life. Manual labourers are on the bottom. Okay, they're a dime a dozen, and I now are friends with Royal Commission lawyers. The first female president of the Australian Olympic Committee, who is now head of Austrade. People that have built up huge businesses. The lady that did, the first 24-hour gym and brought it to Australia. People that are at such the top end of society that you could thread them through the eye of a needle at that real, top end. And I've got their phone numbers in my phone.
And do you talk to them about, hey, you should be doing this online and stuff like that?
I do, but I quite often sit there and try and keep my mouth closed because they are just so inspirational people themselves. But having said that, they are so humble. They are still people like me. Still people like the manual labourer, but they are doing such extraordinary things, and they are changing our society. They are changing how we deal with society and what we do in society, and they're the real movers and shakers of Australia. And I'm chatting with them. Yeah,
and building websites,
websites.
Because and for some of these people, you've got to mention. Come on, you got to mention your most recent one that could be big.
Yes. So through
give it a plug.
Through this network, I've built the website for an Antarctic expedition, and it is the first full unsupported ski crossing of Antarctica that these two fellas are doing. 110 days on Antarctica, pulling a 200-kilo sled. And without anyone else, and they've got to take all their food and everything, and it's just extraordinary. And if they make it, it'll be similar to man landing on the moon, or Mawson going to Antarctica all that time ago. So dealing with these upper type of people, this sort of opportunity that I've had, who'd have thought it? When you're sort of picking rotten tomatoes out of boxes, who'd have thought that I'd be dealing, with Antarctic expedition.
Yeah, you're building a history, mate, or you're building the website for history in the making expedition. Yes. And so you put in a donation, and it's gone really well, hasn't it? The site.
Absolutely. They're doing fantastic, and again, just learning about what they're having to do to get through this. It's fascinating.
So in terms of so you're building sites like say your normal pricing is around the 3,500, and then you've done lots of bigger ones, 6,000 and 7,000, and you've just quoted on a really big one for 30,000. Well done, by the way. So you are So this is now over 5 years. You've built up your skill level, your online confidence, plus your networking. And in your networking group, because, looking at income and things now, so you've got to this level where you're doing that side of it full time. And I think you were saying to me in your networking group, what was the award you just got?
So I'm the second highest income earner, revenue earner in our network group. Yeah.
That is super cool. So that side, it's taken about 5 years, though, to get to that point, hasn't it?
Yes. And look, it hasn't been smooth sailing. I've had lots of setbacks.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Rejections and things like that. But that's all part of it. And you just keep going, one foot in front of the other. And you get rejected and you just get up and you just step around it. And there's always a way. I know where I want to be, and there's always a way to get there. And
you've done so well on that. You're like the other champions. And I know you were just at our boot camp, and like we're all saying, wow, it's just so inspirational seeing what everyone's up to.
Yeah.
But your story is inspirational itself. That's why I wanted to grab you today and record it in this moment in time to make people realize, hey, we all look at Yvette now and we can see the interviews that we've done with you before. We've got to remember, like, I remember where you're at and you remember where you're at. It was a scary time when you first got online. Yeah. And now to think, and particularly I think COVID, like we all saw in our community, was a really kind of a blessing in disguise for many of us because it forced us to work from home. Mm-hmm. So now that's what I remember. You always wanted that as a goal. You're working from home. Yes. But also Yvette, something else I did want to ask you about. So we focus, it's all exciting that you're building these sites for local businesses and you're blitzing it there. But when you did first start with us, you actually started out with Jasmine buying and selling websites. Yes. So let's now look at that journey over the last 5 years, because I know there's a lot of people thinking, well, what happened there? So you guys were obviously very successful with that, and you certainly earned while you learned. But that's changed slightly, hasn't it?
So, yes. So I have sold recently a lot of the first websites that I bought, the smaller ones. Yep. I now, maybe a year or so ago, I bought some larger websites, which so my big thing was getting my agency up and running. Now that that's going, I'm now focusing again on my portfolio sites. And October last year, I thought, right, I'm going to build my own site as well. And I just happened along.
So you listened to Matt.
It was actually at the last boot camp last year that I did that. I thought, I will start building again. And I just happened upon this weird sport that I'm sure most people in Australia would never have heard of.
No.
And in America, it's starting to trend really well. So I have only been having this site, I suppose, 10 months or so. And each month I have doubled my earnings from it.
All right.
And it is just now that and this is something I built myself. I've written all myself. I've done 50 or 60 articles, written it all myself. I've never heard of this sport before. I've had to learn all about it. Now making money, doubling my money each month. And I'm only just now bringing on a writer to help me write it.
That is awesome.
And it's such a cool thing. It's just learning about it.
And this is I want to reiterate, this is a passive website, just like what we teach people how to buy, but we also teach people how to build them. And because that's something you can do part-time. And obviously you've done that part-time over in addition to, building your agency. And this is an affiliate site, isn't it?
Yes. Yes, it is.
And how much do you make off it now? To give people an idea, over 10 months building this thing yourself, what's the income at now?
So last month was $850.
$850, Yvette. That's probably worth what time? Let's just say times 30, because it's a good, we're seeing quite a few websites.
Show me the money, Matt. Show me the money.
Well, we're seeing quite a few websites like yours. It's an affiliate site. It's passive now. Well, it's semi-passive. You've still got to put content on it, but that's because you're growing it. So what is it? $850 a month. I know. Let's just times it by 30 at least. Yeah, 25 grand.
Yep.
You could easily sell that. It's not bad, but obviously you're going to keep that because that just makes money while you sleep, doesn't it? You don't have to do anything really to it.
No.
But now
again, I love writing. It's something that I really enjoy. Yes. So that's my Saturday job. I just sit down and I just write on Saturdays.
And so you're renovating some of that, yeah, because you guys have sold off some sites very successfully. Some of the, and like the one that Jasmine learnt on as well. You know, we talk about all the time. She bought it for $320 and sold it for, what was it, $6,000?
Yes.
You know, not a bad way to earn while you learn type thing. And so is for your portfolio websites, your strategy more now would be to build and renovate the existing sites that you have?
Yeah, so the sites that I've kept for another 4, so I've got 5 now sites in total, and I'm now going through and I'm hiring writers specific for. So I've actually gone out. One of them is a gaming website, so I actually went out and said I want a gaming writer
because you look like a gamer.
That's absolutely, yeah. Just another skill that I've learned online. So I have now got a gaming writer who that's his passion, so it makes it easy for them to write. So I'm now getting writers for that specific niche, and I'm now starting to build up my portfolios and get them going again.
And by the sounds of it, your team too, because you've been used to, all your life earning, what is it, swapping time for money type thing and just being you. But now you're learning, hey, I've got these skills, I can broaden this out to outsourcing and start bringing more and more people to help you. And that's your next step in your agency, isn't it?
Correct. Just to step back and just be the networker. And I do have a small team at the moment, but I want to expand that and just so I can, the more work I can get in, obviously, the more people I can employ to help me.
Yeah, and so you've got your portfolio sites as well. So this is perfect. I mean, Yvette, it is just so unreal to see this change, isn't it, in your life over 5 years? And hats off to you. You're such a go-getter. You never once let your foot off the accelerator. And so on that note, what advice do you have? You know our community really well. You've been around us now for 5 years. You can kind of identify with, especially people like yourself. Looking back over your 5 years, what sort of advice would you have for someone starting out on this journey and they're looking up to you, Yvette, going, oh, man, you know so much. What's your advice to someone starting out today?
It's something that you say all the time, just show up.
Yeah.
And that was one thing that I made sure that every day I sat down in front of the computer every day, even if I thought I just have no idea what I'm doing or where to Google it. I had no idea, but I showed up every day because that was a habit that I formed. And I just thought, right, just small steps, get to here. And then once you're there, get to there. So persistence defies defeat. It just, there has to be a way to do something. If someone else has done it, you have to be able to do it. And it's just finding that way and just backing yourself, and I always say to myself as well, this too will pass, I will get this. And once I get it, it'll be a memory and then I can move on to bigger and better things. And like I said, I have come literally from nowhere to now I have no fear whatsoever. I know I can do anything on a computer, absolutely anything.
Including, Yvette, building real virtual real estate. When you think about it, your skill level's so there now, you can literally build out of your head, just out of ideas that you see in some super bizarre sport that you've never even heard of before. You built this website that 10 months later is making $800 a month passively. That's pretty impressive, isn't it? When you think about it, to look back at that is so awesome. That is really cool.
It is.
Mum of 4 blitzes it. Building websites, passive websites. There we go. There's the headlines.
Make sure you put the blitzes in it.
Blitzes. But Yvette, thank you so much for today and sharing your journey. And we'd love to keep up to date with you over the coming years as well and see where this leads to next. And guys listening, if you've been inspired by Yvette and you want to see where she started out, jump onto our free masterclass where we teach our whole strategy of buying and building websites, and you'll see Yvette and Jasmine's site on that masterclass strategy. So jump in there and have a look at the strategy and see if it's something for you. But Yvette, big thank you for helping to inspire so many people in our community.
Thanks, Matt. It's been fun.